What's up, everybody? Um, Welcome to another episode of yours truly. I guess I just wanted to check in, cause I'll be skipping days, but you gotta treat this like a workout. I think of a quote that Mike Tyson said. I like Mike Tyson. I'm into boxing, but not like other people are into it. I don't watch sports like that. People watch sports and they know, everything about that person, the RBIs and depending on the sports, they know how many tackles, how many shots, all this stuff, man. You know what though? I do play it. I play the sport. I can't my only weakness is I can't sit down and study people. I'm busy doing the same shit they're doing. Like I will play the sports. Like I played baseball. I remember winning 6 trophies. 6 or 7. Actually, I think it was 7 trophies when I was young and shit. And then I played basketball and a couple times with the cousins. I played football. American football, not. I know, fucking soccer. They call it football, but that's only becoming popular now with the kids and shit. Like, and that's because they're getting lazy, Because I played all the shit, and then we wrestled too. I was in wrestling class. Man, I used to pin people in a couple moves, yo. Cause my older cousin. Anyway, my older cousin was in wrestling too. But anyway, goddamn, I'm jumping around. So, thanks for tuning in. I wanted to talk about just checking in, I got this book, right? I've been writing this book, low-key, yo, man, I'm a genius. Like, if I sit and talk about the things I've done, man, it's like, I feel like it's too much, I gotta just hit motherfuckers with it, but allegedly, legends have it, there's a book out there. it's in the in the mix somewhere in the world, but legend has it that it'll come out, and it's a very, very different story. Like, you never heard this kind of story, man. Like, the more you read it, you be like, yo, it's gonna be too much for some of you because the intellectual capacity behind, because this is like data input, man. I'm inputting data. You got to think of yourself like a circuit, right? And I'm over here inputting data, but in the physical realm and shit with like materials and stuff. And this allegedly, legend has it that there's this book that this guy hasn't made yet, but it's there. And once you receive that, it's gonna change. You're gonna know. It's so powerful you can't explain. You can't put it in words and stuff. But it'll definitely make you smarter. Cause it's basically it's like a manuscript. I'm basically showing you how to survive life. In real actual scenarios and stuff. And I get baffled myself, man. I'll be amazed at the shit. Like, when I sit back and I start thinking about it, I'm like, damn. But let me not make it all about me, I am an artist, I'm just letting y'all know that what's coming is You're not prepared, You're not prepared for that shit. But some of you will like it, because some of you are intellectually more prepared. You know stuff, so it's gonna make more sense to you. But for those that don't have the IQ, it'll probably go over them. They'll probably read it and not understand nothing. But as they mature, 5-10 years from now, if they read that same book they didn't understand, all those decades ago, they're gonna read it in a different light. And now then they'll probably be more ready, prepared to receive the data that was always there from the jump. It's just that people have different levels of comprehension. Some people comprehend it right away, and they take that blessing and apply it to their lives. But others, like I said, they don't have the IQ, so it'll go over them, and they won't get that blessing, so they'll remain what they are, But basically, this book is basically telling you, it's a manuscript, of how to make it, how to be in life, which is, all righteous, and has certain virtues, carrying integrity, honor, certain principles, values, that no matter how low one can go, these values, principles, and things never flee from the understanding. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen, like I said, with everybody, because people don't have the IQ, the capacity. But that's why I wrote it down, and it's available on Amazon right now. So if you have the mental capacity, I think you're going to love it. And you're going to recognize the genius and the brilliance. And all I ask is for good reviews, positive comments, feedback, show it the accolades that it deserves and earned, because nothing was given. You got to keep that in mind. This is an artist. This is an artist who not only he does it all, man. I mean, he does it all. You got to read it, because it's based on real events, real life shit. I don't know how many times I gotta say that. I took this picture the other day. I was just like, let me fool around with the camera while I was working out and shit. I was actually stretching that day. Yeah, I was stretching my back, doing, fucking touching the floor without bending my knees type of shit. Or I would sit on the floor and touch my toes without bending my knees, just like stretching and aligning and shit. And then I have my dumbbells right there, right? So sometimes, when I'm stretching, right, I walk like I'm an ape and shit. I use my fist instead of my hands and shit. So that's why you see me like with my fist and shit instead of like, my palms. Because I'll be walking like with my fist and shit. I scared my dog. It's not, I shouldn't say my dog. It's like my family, right? They have this little dog, man. Annoying little thing, because, it's, I don't see its importance, but I'm waiting to get a bigger dog so that it could have, because the last two dogs I had were Rottweilers, right? And, man, they couldn't keep up with me, man. Like, I used to jog with them and shit. But that motherfucker will have to stop and shit like 4 or 5 times and shit. And then as soon as I bring them back home, because I know they couldn't keep up, the motherfuckers run straight to their doghouse, hide, and just fall asleep and shit. Like, scared as hell to come out. But But everybody else, they're like, oh, crazy and shit like that. I don't get it. I need a stronger dog. But anyway, I'm talking to this dog, this little puppy shit, and it almost had a heart attack. You know, like, I'm like, man, they can't keep. You know, it's too much power. They can't. You know, it's not for everyone. You know, so you know, rather than killing it, because the light is so strong, I just tell that I just keep my distance from that shit. He knows too not to get too close, because I end up like, I get aggressive and shit. I grab him and shit by the back, and then I lift him up by the skin and shit. And then I throw him. I toss him and shit. I get out of here, like, because they be barking and shit. I don't like that shit. Or sometimes I kick it. Yeah. But so sidetracking. Yeah. So that day I was just stressing. I was like, you know what? Let me post a picture and shit. And there it is. It was a couple of them, man. Like, yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I got lots of projects coming out. Like I said, you wanna get the book and read it, and don't judge a book by its cover, because you'll end up looking like an idiot every time. Just do your homework, research, investigate if what I am saying is true. But because like I said, once you read the words, forget about it, man. It's over. It's like, in a way, I've evolved you. I've advanced you. I made you like an AI robot. Not a robot, but like, higher intelligence and shit. You're going to be okay. You'll be all right. Don't worry. The whole thing is for you to develop like instincts, right? And know when a motherfucker is lying, and you could read right through the bullshit. By reading between the lines. And that's very important, that you know how to read the room. Because if you don't know how to read the room, there's a lot of things that could go wrong. And you'll be one of them. You'll be a part of the statistics. Like, yo, the way that I survived, yo, and the way that is written in the book, it'll, and you guys grew up in an era where you have tools to help you, assistance. I had to do that shit manual, but not saying that all that shit is cool. Like, I could adapt, I know how to adapt real good. Like, I'm really good at using my phone, as you can see. But I don't just use it for this reason. I use it for many, many other reasons, And, these type of things, people were not good at. People, I come from, beepers and shit, two-ways and shit, You hit the beep, and then, we go to a payphone or something. But shit is different, You know that. You don't need me to tell you that. You just like hearing me talk and shit. But yeah, that's it. I checked in. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time. That's that. What all that?